of Christiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, how many correction officers are currently employed by the department? And if I could maybe get the answer and I can move on. We can come back to it if it's going to take a minute. I'll come back to it.
We have 8,613 filled, 212 vacant.
All right, thank you. And SCI Pittsburgh sits on a downtown site, and depending on the exact property lines, on or near a major river. That site's location gives the perception of having high real estate value. Whose decision was it to mothball at $3 million a year your oldest facility, and do you support that decision? As opposed to a complete divestment from that facility?
The intent is to completely divest, but the realities of the timing of that is that there's going to be a period of mothball. So when we're giving cost-saving estimates, it's prudent, I think, to assume a full year to divest, but I certainly hope it goes quicker than that.
Okay, thank you. And my next question is that the department's overtime costs indicate that there's a lack of correction officers on staff. Yet the GGO administrative hiring seems to have increased by 20% on page 46, an increase of 52 employees, and on page 52 looks as if administrative hiring has increased by 80 employees or proposed to increase by 80 employees. When we're dealing with limited resources, should we not first focus on putting more correction officers in the facilities, and then if we have extra funds, then look at administrative increases?
Actually, I'm not sure where you're getting that number. Our intent is to cut 10% of GGO.
Okay. On page 46, filled. GGO operations complement 239 employees last year, 238 this year. Thankful for that. But then proposal to go up to 290. That's where I got the more than 20% increase. And then on page 52.
Excuse me one second. That assumes the merger. So
okay.
So what you'd have to do is you'd have to take Parole's GGO and our GGO, and it would reflect lower GGO. So that reflects.
Okay, then if that's the case, then could you flip to page 52, which is where I thought you would be putting these numbers. You have 1,193 to 1,257 to a proposal of 1,273. That looks to be after the merger as opposed to the DOC GGO, which is on 46 that I just cited.
No, I think it. So the 15, 16, and 16, 17 both reflect separate agencies. Anything that you see 17, 18 assumes that a merged department. So you're looking at the sum of two departments. So you'd have to add what Parole's 16, 17 was separate from what ours was.
Due to the confusion, maybe could you provide us with a more detailed breakdown of if the merger doesn't happen and if the merger happens, so we can better understand what it is that we're funding?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.